We're here to fuck shit up.
These first. These are my brothers. That's why I gotta. I don't want to just leave them in a box. I'm gonna put them up. But
Well, that one's not going up.
hello, come
I have
fellas.
this one.
Hey.
I don't think I have this one. I have this issue at home. It is my worst comic book.
I would say so, yeah, because
it isn't even a 0.5. It's so bad. Right? And that's like literally, I've been dragging this around. I should charge rent for the damn thing. That copy is a perfect 10 compared to mine. Oh, it has no staples. It has nothing. It's like, it's just shredded. This entire side is shredded. This entire side looks like it was burnt with a lighter. So this is definitely coming home with me.
All right.
I'm checking on 77. I'm pretty sure I have 77. I don't have 77? I must have sold it. God damn it. 77's coming home with me.
The Bartman #1.
Got 3 copies myself. Ooh, $95 for this one? Yeeks. That's why I don't have, that's why I sold it, probably. That one might have to go in the file until next week.
Sure. This is one of my favorite stories ever. It was awesome.
I was aware of it, but I've never seen it before.
That's the first print.
Is it a miniseries? Was
One
it
shot?
One shot?
Yep, one shot. Yep. He kills the Marvel Universe.
Deadpool versus kills the Marvel Universe 1 and 2, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that doesn't even compare to the Punisher. The Punisher was so much better.
Oh wow, interesting.
And they've got like 3 or 4 different printings of it too, like different. Then they actually reprinted it in like a comic book form type, so it was cheaper.
I would say I've heard of it, but I've never seen it, never even seen a copy of it.
Well, now you saw it.
Now I saw it. And if it's on the wall in 2 weeks, I'll probably end up buying it. I'm gonna take this over there so you get some space.
Yep.
Oh.
You just when you're done, you just put it on top of the other boxes over there.
Sure. Maybe. I got Marvel Zombies 4 and 5 and 9.8s.
Oh yeah.
Perfect copies. Well, not perfect, but obviously. For $200, not a piece, for $200. I'm like, this is both of these. I'll throw 201 at it to see. And I actually started playing video games and totally forgot about it. I woke up the next morning and it's like, you got to pay for something. I'm like, what the hell did I didn't buy any. Oh, wait a minute. Couldn't believe I got it. That was,
Not because it's not here.
Totally fair.
Yeah, but it's now that I realize that I'm out, but it's more than once because #2s are coming out. I think next.
Not dealing with Batman
the
right
week
now,
after.
'cause I
So
don't have that much money.
I want to have 1s when 2s come in. So
I need this almost entire run. And not, it's just certain ones. Like this particular one is the stories with Metza. This is coming off of the Neil Adams run, and that was really, really good. They started getting mediocre, and they're all in this condition when you find them. Pretty beat up, and that's just too low for my grade. Even though I don't really care about Super Mint.
But yeah, I think it's just for the horror.
And this is where they start getting really so many copies printed. That's a really good price for that book. That's an amazing price for that book.
Yeah. But you know something? Like this week, I only had 60. We had 65 new books that were on the
But possibly one of the greatest ones is Batman right
You're
there.
still gonna fill it with something else.
These
So
issues.
kept some of the crypto shots, some of the horror stuff still on. It's yeah.
Good deal.
All right, yep, no problem. And I will be reordering the Mickey Woodcocks tonight. Actually.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, but I didn't realize. I didn't go back and check. But yeah, he probably bought my last one last week. Yeah.
I'll keep an eye out for it then.
Yep.
Thanks.
Yeah, that's what we need.
I had that entire. So my dad tossed away the first 20 Fantastic Fours.
Guy's a fucking asshole.
That's right, I remember. We don't even like to hear that one. Yeah.
I don't even want to calculate what that box is worth. One of the things is I've been trying to fill that run in, at least from first appearance of Silver Surfer up. I want to possibly go back to first appearance of Claw, but we'll see. One here, one there, and finally we'll do it. If someone can lend me $2,000, I can get the first Silver
give it to you.
Surfer. You got that on you?
Yeah, I think so. Oh, no, I got 20.
We'll put that with the 20 in mind, and we're almost
Well,
halfway there,
you
right?
can buy a comic anyways, if you're lucky.
When you do get the money, just let me know. I'll sell you mine.
Okay.
I sold that out of my collection years ago. It's sometime in the early '90s. I sold that out of it. Yeah.
Same here.
I'm not a big Silver Surfer fan though. No, I could take them or leave them. Most likely would rather leave them.
I like the concept.
They built him into a whiner. He's got more power. Hello. He's got more power than anything, but they made him just whine all the time too.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Yeah, so I don't need that. I'm good.
Harry, hi.
Hi, baby. Hi. Hi. No cone today?
Yeah, she was good last night, so I took it off.
Good to see you. Yes, good to see you. My pup was sick all last night.
Really?
You can't eat chicken anyways, and the wife gave him chicken fingers and
Really?
it's upset his stomach.
But you took the batter off him, right?
No.
No wonder she's sick.
No
Right?
wonder she
Next thing you know, right? Like I was up all night taking the dog out every 2 hours, right? And unfortunately, I missed the 5 a.m. one because I woke up to all over that barn, all over the basement of the house.
Let me get this again. Your wife gave him the chicken, and you was up all night taking him out.
Someone had to be responsible.
What the hell is wrong?
I'm not going to lay that. I'm not going to trust the criminal with the crime cleanup.
Not have just said, I gave it to him and let it go like that. Oh, boy.
Big boy.
Son's over here.
Hey, I'm right here. I'm right here.
Yeah,
What do we got? Hey, what do I got? Oh, I don't have anything. Ready? What do I got? Oh, nothing. Ready? Oh, there's nothing here. I don't have anything. Wait a minute. How about that? Wait, how about that? What happened? Where'd it go?
I can smell the remnants.
Where'd it go?
Why don't you put it in your mouth like you did last night?
After teasing her? Yeah, she almost bit my face off. Here you go.
I would like to find Captain America Man at a Time, but I've had no luck.
Oh, shit!
No luck finding single issues, trades, anything, anywhere. I don't know why the series is special. It exists online, but every now and then you get lucky. I hate going through dollar bins. If they're at least organized, it's not so bad, but otherwise it's kind of just madness. I'd rather have a targeted look for them. Alright, I want to find a Captain America, I go to Captain America. I want to find a Venom, I'll go to that. Collected sets, yeah, it's nice when they're alphabetized, but beggars can't be choosers. I got a little extra time today, so I'll go through more than I usually do. More often than not, I'll just go through 1 or 2 of them. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a capitalist society. There's no way to get around speculation. I buy to read, so I don't care for slabbed books. I have 2 of them myself, but I don't go out of my way for them. Weird that there's a cover that literally looks like a slab. That's different. I started collecting as a kid. I stopped collecting when I went into college back in 2004, and then I did not restart collecting comics until about 2019 when Absolute Carnage was coming out as a Marvel event. I mean, I'm a big fan of Bronze Age titles, old Steve Gerber, Hulk Chadwick Concrete type stuff. Older books tended to, be longer, and yeah, the writing tended to be a bit verbose, especially if you're looking at something like Chris Claremont. Again, you can still get a good writer, but more often than not, you do want to have the pictures and the images conveying what the story is and not just narrating everything through exposition. Some books hit the nail on the head, others kind of struggle, so I try not to hold any age of comics as superior to the others. Things change. Wouldn't mind seeing more hand-drawn stuff than the digital stuff, but things get more cost-effective to do it that way. Not a big fan of artificial intelligence, generative AI starting to intrude into the industry. There's really no way of avoiding it, but I'd like it at least disclosed. You can't tell a story if you don't have some degree of yourself put into it. Now, that's not to say that if somebody writes a story with a controversial subject, that the writer inherently is racist, misogynist, insert any ist that you want to here. But at the end of the day, you're always going to see some degree of an author insert into a story. That doesn't bother me. Politics in comics? Captain America 1 is literally Cap punching Hitler in the face. This is not anything new. Go read Giant Size Man Thing #4, and Steve Gerber just tears into the concept of toxic masculinity. I mean, this is going back to like 74, 76, something like that. And don't get me wrong, I don't mind seeing the flip side of the coin too. Comics as an industry does tend to lean more into the progressive, the liberal side of things. I don't mind seeing a counterpoint every now and then to give me a conservative perspective. People are going to buy what they want to. It's their money, and if they find something offensive, and there are some books that are just downright offensive, there's a point at which you just walk away. I try to go in with an open mind for almost everything, but a couple of years ago, I remember a book came out that was called Duel. It was supposed to be like a 6-issue miniseries. I only bought the first issue, and it was the rare instance where I was convinced that I am not going to like this from the get-go. I mean, the premise was basically encouraging, like, school shooting type things. It was a dark theme. But I don't like somebody telling me whether I'm supposed to like something or not. So I gave it a shot, and it was 100% as bad as I expected it to be. But sometimes you get surprised. The physical size of a comic book is smaller than it used to be. I mean, that's easy enough to prove just by looking at modern boards and bags. They're smaller than Silver Age or Golden Age. Is there less paneling? I don't think so. I mean, you could make the argument that if there was an issue of The Mighty Thor, number 380, from Walt Simonson, where it's notable as being one of, if not the first book that's 100% splash pages. Every page is one image. Does that qualify as paneling? Yeah, technically. But there are plenty of authors and creators that are trying different things. I like avant-garde. I like when people experiment. You look at something by Trad Moore, Silver Surfer Black, or Doctor Strange Fall Sunrise. I mean, these things are just like a psychedelic trip on LSD. The latter is a much harder read, but the art is absolutely phenomenal. I don't think that there's necessarily less physical panels. I mean, there's definitely less pages than there used to be. I think there's a reasonable question of backup stories. Do they need to be there? If they serve a larger purpose, sure, that's great. If they are simply there to pad the issue, I mean, I can find old issues from Marvel where Stanley's soapbox outright declaims, we want to give you more for your buck, give you value. So if we're going to raise the price at the time, we're going to add content that's meaningful. I don't think that's necessarily held true across the board in the modern era. A good backup story is always appreciated. I don't think it's right to crucify any writer. I mean, everybody wants to sit there and say, oh, we love Alan Moore. Yeah, if you look back at the old stuff, V for Vendetta, From Hell, Watchmen, even he recognizes the whole industry puts him up on a platform. God is Dead Alpha, #1. He did one of the 3 short stories in that where he literally self-inserts himself as a character, literally in the book, with this figurative religion that he invents for the story. And he completely tears himself apart in the most wonderful self-deprecating way to say, I'm in on the joke, guys. It's okay. Do I love every story I read by Jason Aaron? No. Doesn't mean he's not a good writer. Doesn't mean I don't love his Thor run any less than I do. Lemire is a good example. I think May's book was the best book that came out. I think that was 2021. Maybe it bled into 2022 a little bit. I had no complaints about a single issue from that miniseries. When he switched over to Primordial, I thought it started strong and then didn't really have an ending. I've been reading most of the Bone Orchard mythos. To me, it's fairly mid-quality. Sorrentino's art is fabulous, but at the end of the day, I don't hold it against Lemire that he's suddenly a bad writer. It just means it didn't click for me. I know plenty of people in the online community that it did work for. I buy things that I have a general sense that I know I'm going to like or have a good feeling about. Anything that has Venom or Marvel symbiotes or Man-Thing in it, yeah, I'm probably going to read it regardless of whether it's good or not. You show me any book that has J.M. DeMatteis or Steve Gerber writing Man-Thing, I can almost guarantee that is going to be a great book. You show me R.L. Stine writing Man-Thing, it's not going to be a great day. I know I'm not going to enjoy it. Idle curiosity. I don't like the idea of hate reading something. And worst case scenario, you drop off for a little while. You can always trade weight. Frankly, there's so many options for things like Hoopla now where you can read digitally with a library subscription. And that's great. That's given me access to a whole bunch of of especially indie books that, you know, I was on the fence of, or I had friends that recommended them, but I didn't really want to shell out 15, 20 bucks to go buy a book that I don't really care about otherwise, but you get surprised. I catalog everything on the League of Comic Geeks. Presently stands, I have 3,231 books, and that does include things like graphic novels, trade paperbacks, collected editions. So
now there's two different stories.
again, this is always a debate. Do you count the individual issues in a trade paperback as owning that? I think that's silly. You just focus on the number of books. So again, I think 3,000 books is pretty healthy. Yeah, I'm much happier with what Marvel produces than what DC produces. And there's absolute bias there because I've never been a big DC Comics guy. But I'll admit, I still haven't seen the latest Batman movie or the Penguin series. And honestly, they just keep getting darker and darker. I'm really not bothered by that. I probably will eventually. As far as Marvel's content, I'm closer to up to date. I still haven't seen the latest Ant-Man movie. I haven't seen Agatha All Along on Disney Plus or the Secret Invasion miniseries they did. I do think sometimes they get a little carried away with trying to introduce new characters and things where it's like this wink to the audience where, oh, this one random comic nerd is going to know exactly who this character is, but if you don't read that character, it doesn't mean anything to you. I think one of the Doctor Strange movies introduced Cleo in an after-credits scene.
Wasn't good at all.
I don't know a darn thing about Cleo. And it does get a little frustrating where sometimes you have, especially if you're watching with somebody else that doesn't read the comics, so there's no familiarity at all, they're just there for the sheer enjoyment of the experience, how much explaining you have to do of, oh, here's this Easter egg, they're doing it this way. The hardcore fans, they get angry about, oh, they didn't adapt the character exactly the way it was in the comic. That's right, because you had to make a movie, and casual fans need to appreciate it, and in some cases, you don't have an infinite amount of backstory or time to show everything. I think it's a cool premise that we're going to get like a Secret Wars movie at some point. But I don't necessarily need a standalone movie for every Avenger that's going to pop up in that movie to make it palatable to me. Gore the God Butcher and God Bomb are my favorite arcs from modern Thor books. Do I love Christian Bale's representation as the character in the MCU? Not really.
Oh, good!
I understand why they made some changes. They didn't want the character to overly resemble Voldemort from Harry Potter. The ending definitely could have come together a little better, or you could have built this up as a character with a little more longevity. Again, the latest Venom movie introduces Null, and some people are really upset about, oh, he's only in the movie for a grand total of like 7 minutes. Probably true. I didn't take out a stopwatch, but the original Beetlejuice movie only had him on screen for about 7 minutes out of the hour-and-a-half or so runtime. And at some point, they will, I'm sure, bring him back as a big bad to attack the rest of the Marvel Universe. Is it the most interesting character? No. But at least it's threatening. There's a menacing component to it. You never know. Yeah, it's funny. It's been out for like 3 weeks at this point, and it seems like everybody is sold out of it. Yeah. I kept wondering, like, is there something special? Does a character reveal
every year, right?
They do, yeah. And the funny thing is, almost every year, it's a very average issue. There's usually one very good story. It's usually the Man-Thing story, which is good for me.
Right.
But they're not usually that exciting.
I mean, Steve Orlando's writing one of those stories. It can't be any good. You know, it's. I'm hoping it's not Man-Thing.
I'm kind of psyched that the first appearance of Man-Thing is starting to chill down a little bit in price because I've been eyeing a Savage Tales 1 forever. I just can't justify paying over $500 for it.
I bought my copy last summer for $350, and I'm not saying it's a 9.8, but it's in damn good condition. I sat there and read it in museum gloves. It's a great issue. Yeah. It really is.
I brought camping this year. I brought the Essential Man Thing with me just so I'd catch up. And I'm like, okay, so the first 3 stories were kind of like they didn't know where they were going with this, and then as soon as the Nexus and the that all came in, they're like, okay, they've got a path for him now. And I was pretty happy reading it.
You know, it was a fun book, and it's stupid, but it's fun. It was Daydreamers.
I read that so long ago and barely remember a darn thing about it.
It had Leach and Artie, and then it had Franklin Richards with his bouncing ball, which was actually the globe he made, because this came out after, remember when Image started taking over some of the Marvel books?
Yeah.
Basically, he protected them all by putting them into its own world. Well, the world was the ball that he was playing with, that he had all the time. So he had the ball, he had that. Man-Thing was in it, and Howard the Duck, and there was some girl that was in it.
Beverly?
No, it was some character. I just can't remember who she was. And they were going through to try to stop something in the Nexus or whatever. And it was great. They even found Howard the Duck's world.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
yeah. And he didn't stay. He goes, "No, you guys are my friends. I have to help you." Okay, I have to help you guys. What a fun book. And
Yeah.
Yep, Daydreamers. Yep.
Okay, now,
Yeah, it was
now I'm going to look out for it.
This came out June 12th, 1997.
It was a good
As I said.
story. It was fun. It's goofy. It's goofy. You got a bunch of idiot characters. And don't get me wrong, I love Howard the Duck. I love Man-Thing, but they're not the most popular characters in the world. You know,
It's also incredibly hard to write because the trick to writing him is you have to write around the character.
Right.
The character doesn't talk.
Yep.
It's not Swamp Thing. He doesn't have a mouth. He's largely mindless. He's just shambling through the swamps.
and nobody in the group was afraid of him, so they weren't being burned. You know, it's
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, with Man-Thing, I usually find anything written by Steve Gerber is probably gold. J.M. DeMatteis gets the character almost every single time. Chris Claremont is incredibly hit or miss in Volume 2.
Okay. I owned all of Volume 2. It's 11 issue. That 11
These
issue
are
run.
11 or 13 issues.
I own the whole run. I just never read them.
Honestly, the very beginning of the run was good, and the very end of the run was pretty good. Claremont did an homage to Gerber in the very last issue, where Claremont basically self-inserts himself as, like, this guy that's just hanging out at the bar, lamenting his journey through writing the Man-Thing. If you try to read the R.L. Stein miniseries with Man-Thing, it is painful.
it was awful.
I thought the last panel was entertaining, but I hated everything else
I
about
think
it.
the backup story was better. That when it wasn't even a Man-Thing story. It was just an R.L. Stein story. Was better than the Man-Thing story in general.
Which makes more sense. I mean, he had all the experience writing Goosebumps and things. He can create his own stories
Yep.
just fine. He missed the mark.
Yeah, it was awful.
there-
I didn't even keep it. I've got runs of Man-Thing. That was one I didn't even keep in my collection.
If I would have saw that on the shelf, I would have bought it. I'm like, oh, a famous writer writing one of my favorite characters.
Looks fun. And again, I liked the last panel of the last issue, but I hated almost everything that led up to it. I don't know if you actually read the letters columns. Read them from that series.
Okay.
Fans are writing to him telling him how bad a job he's doing, and they published all of them. And he apologizes like, I'm trying. Kyle Hotz did a 3-issue miniseries in advance as like a prequel to that horrible movie they made in Australia back in like 2005.
Yeah, no, I saw that come up on my Tubi, and I'm like, I can't. No, if I never heard anybody talk about this, I'm not going to bother.
I watched it once. I tried.
I watched the rated R version.
Is it the equivalent of watching Swamp Thing 2?
Well, I can't fault them. They had $12 for a budget. You know, it's
Basically,
because they built all the budget. Then a typhoon came in and ruined everything. So we can't spend all this money to rebuild it. Yeah. Here's the money you have left. Do what you can. And I think they just used the rest of the money for the end just to show, just so you can see the Man-Thing do the fight.
The funny thing is, it's if you're looking for the Man-Thing from the comics, it's not that. There's a couple references to like names like F.A. Schist, the bad guy from the Gerber run. The reality is, they changed every single aspect of the character, the backstory. There's some interesting ideas, but it's not well executed.
How'd you like him in Werewolf by Night?
I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Fine.
I thought it looked great.
It was a good little one-shot. I was happy with that. I wouldn't mind if Marvel did a few more of those things that are just self-contained, small,
I was kind of
digestible.
wishing they would do one of those Halloween ones every year.
So did I.
You know, I thought that would have been just perfect. I actually watched it. They actually released a colored version of it, right? And I'm like, well, I'm not going to watch something that's just colorized. But I actually watched it and I got a totally different feel from it, but not in a bad way. You understand what I'm saying? I'm just going to throw it on because I got nothing else to watch.
Yeah.
I want the black and white one with just the, the very Sin City like pops up. You only saw crimson red, it was black and white, but that one crimson red thing that came through. I like that whole idea. So I'm like, no, I'm not going to watch the colored one. I'm like, but I'm doing nothing, and I'll put it on as background. I put it on 5 minutes in. I was sitting down watching it, and I was like, wow, okay, that's interesting because the colors popped, and like I didn't expect that to be that color, and it was interesting.
That's honestly one of the hardest things for me with almost any superhero content. And this goes all the way back to through like the original X-Men, Spider-Man movies, even by extension things like Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, I can enjoy watching all of these things the first time. You ask me to watch it a second time, I have no attention span anymore for it. It's good as background noise, but I'm not going to sit down because I'm flipping through the channels and it just happens to be on.
If you're into the top echelon of the the top, say 5% of the movies I've watched, if you're into that bracket, I'll be perfectly honest with you. Prince Purple Rain is like the guiltiest pleasure I have. Right? Sure. That I loved his music. I grew up with it. Like that was before I discovered punk rock. That was my man. Right? And then so literally that comes on. Oh, this day's ruined. Sit down and start watching it. But I agree with you that it has to be something. For me, it has to be something super special.
That's it. If I see Jaws come on and it's the summer, I'm probably going to sit and watch Jaws. If Gladiator randomly comes on, I'm probably going to sit there.
But neither one of us is going to sit through Ant-Man Quantumania again.
I haven't sat through it the first time yet.
Yeah.
For a while, there was just so much content constantly being pumped out. At some points, did I need to watch Secret Invasion or whatever it was in order to watch this? It kind of started.
I'm a huge Skrulls fan, and that was such a disappointment. Why are you ruining one of my favorite bad guys, or I should say race of bad? It
also gets harder as you get older and you have other life responsibilities.
That has two.
When it was just me and my wife, okay, we can stay up late, watch shows whenever we want to.
Even though I got my watch,
we now have 2 kids, so it's not so easy to just say, all right, let's leave the kids to sleep upstairs and go downstairs at 10:30 at night and hang out for an hour and a half. I hit one where both of us is going to be exhausted, and it's like, all right, how much do we have to squeeze in on the occasional lunch hour to eventually catch up?
On that, you do it right on your screen. And
I had no interest in Miss Marvel. No interest at all. Obviously, I'm a misogynist because I didn't watch it. No, I just don't care for the character.
Oh yeah,
it's not for the same with She-Hulk. I own the comics. I never really cared for him that much. But
you don't have a screen.
I tried to get through Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I thought that was a hot mess.
I do all mine right on the.
Miss Marvel was well done.
I
heard really good
I'm the first thing. I don't care one bit about all the deviations from the comics. None of that bothers me. Last year they had, I forget what issue of Amazing Spider-Man. This current run is very controversial to begin with. But they had the one issue where Miss Marvel gets killed. And the internet is just raving mad. You didn't kill her in her own title. You're disrespecting the character. This is the worst thing ever written. I'm just like, all right, guys, you know what? I'm just going to buy this issue just so I can see what all the fuss is about. And I read it. I'm like, this is not a bad issue. I've read other issues from this run. I don't love a lot of these books from the run. This one's actually pretty well done. You're all just overreacting to nothing. Oh, but it's MCU synergy. Yeah, and guess what? That's going to sell movie tickets. It's going to get people to stream it.
The internet was invented to argue and to complain.
People are talking about it. I mean, somebody was asking me the other day, what is the most controversial thing that broke the internet in comics? And people were weighing in and just like, Captain America saying Hail Hydra. I still run into people that are pissed off to high hell about this. It's a storyline.
I can't tell you how many comic book groups I've left on Facebook.
Fuck yourself!
The predominant thing was 181 or 182. Or 180 or 181. And I'm like, I don't give a shit. I just don't care.
I only have 2 slab books. One is Amazing Spider-Man number 300, first full appearance of Venom, outside of just a cameo, and Secret Wars number 8, first appearance of the symbiote. God damn it. You go online and start getting into it. Oh no, Eddie Brock's first appearance is Amazing Spider-Man number 298, and the first Venom appearance is in 299.
The one where you actually just see an arm come out the window or something
that was
like
even
that.
earlier in the run, and some people will make that argument. I'm like, it's an arm. I don't care. This one, it shows a face. This one just shows him standing there menacingly. I don't care. Or Secret Wars number 8 technically came out after Spectacular Spider-Man number 202 or whatever. It's like, I don't care.
Where does Marvel team up fit into this whole mess? It's like,
you just sit there and like, you guys are out of your absolute minds.
I agree with you 100% on this. It's just so annoying.
I think it was Mark Wade, maybe 2-3 years ago. Again, bad idea is a a really annoying publisher. And they took an issue of previews. Normally a free book, it's like this thick, huge. And they're like, we're going to put a secret story right in the middle of an issue. And of course, every shop is now selling it for $5. Fine. It's like 8 pages, and it was called something like The Last Supper or The First Supper. And it's a bunch of comic nerds debating about speculation, the first appearance of Wolverine. It's like, it's hysterical.
They don't have Boom 7 or whatever the hell it is.
I try not to worry about the speculator market so much because people are going to make their money however they try to make their money. It's annoying when I want to go find some random back issue and they're like, oh, Donny Cates introduced Mr. E as the symbiote. And this character had a quarter bin appearance in Captain Universe 25 years ago.
Marvel Spotlight number 39 or whatever the hell it was. A Marvel feature or Marvel fanfare. I can't even remember.
Ewing retconned Flexo the Robot to be the first symbiote. I'm like, this character debuted in like Timely Comics number 1 in 1940. I'm never going to own this issue. Why?
I've left so many comic book groups because I just want to talk about like, hey, what's this? Hey, anybody read this storyline? Because I'm going to go after it if it's good, you know? Oh, you should really just collect Spider-Man. I don't personally don't like Spider-Man. How come you don't like Spider-Man? And all of a sudden I'm like in an argument of why I don't like Spider-Man.
God forbid somebody asks me, why don't you like Superman? I can go on a long rambling explanation of why I find the character boring. I'm not saying there aren't good stories with it. I'm just not all that interested in reading them.
You don't like Captain America? You communist? You know, like, no.
Well, that's the whole internet thing. You know, I'm not a big fan of waffles. Really? Or I like pancakes. You hate waffles. I didn't say that.
I prefer mangoes over pineapples. You didn't even mention tangerines. Like, what?
Oh, God forbid you bring up manga amongst an audience that reads Western comics. Or bandes dessinées, the European comics. Manga means comics in Japanese. They read in different orders, they have different conventions. Fundamentally, they're all the same type of thing.
It's like the internet was just created for porn and people to argue.
It's funny because I'm looking at my unread pile because I log everything on, as I told you, on League of Comic Geeks. I'm like, all right, I finally got my numbers under like 400. And then I picked those up and I'm like, all right, and we are now back at like 550 with doing no effort at all. This is great. When I went to college in 2004 and I came back in 2019 because I saw Absolute Carnage was coming out as an event. And Maximum Carnage was the first thing I collected. And the first time I started seeing variant covers, I'm like, I don't understand. So is it the same book? Is this something different? Okay. Now I understand it completely, but...
Money grab.
Oh, yeah. Again, I don't mind it to an extent. Things like the incentive covers, that tends to get a little frustrating when it's like, oh, this one cover is going to cost you $50, $100, $200. Like, guys, it's still just a piece of paper. I can't justify that for a modern book.
Just the price of modern books now. I mean, for $5.99, I can get a Silver Age back issue of, like, you know, obviously a common, but, like, you know, like not a key, but yeah, I can still, like, get a piece of history versus a piece of crap that I'm really not into right now.
And to be fair, those old books often could accomplish an entire story in one issue. Yeah, they might bleed into the next one, but you got your money's worth. The new stuff...
Yeah,
you kind of have to debate. Do you trade weight so that you don't miss everything?
Like, you open up an old DC book and it was like you were reading a story because there was the blocks of text and like what was going on were huge comparatively to now. You can go 3 pages with one word bubble, you know. And I literally like when Steranko did that back in the 60s, right? Because he was telling the story visually. 2 characters were in bed get together and like it was like 3 pages of them in bed where they could have just shown one panel and been like, okay. And I'm not even talking about which characters were in bed. But I'm just talking about, regardless, you don't need 3 pages of them talking in bed when it could have been accomplished in one panel.
Yeah, and move on
with the story.
Right, you know what's going on. You know there are a couple. They're getting up to do it. They're waking up to do whatever they need to do for the day. Move it on. You don't need 3 pages of that happening.
Land the plane, buddy.
All the modern stuff is now they spread one thing that can be done in 2 panels out into 3-4 pages, and then when you're done reading the book, I feel as though I'm missing something. Like I didn't get enough.
Oh, there's certain writers that have fallen off. And I had mentioned I like a lot of Jason Aaron, but I don't love every Jason Aaron. His Avengers run wasn't too long ago, and that had a lot of flack for it. And I kept looking at it going, all right, I read roughly about maybe 2/3 of this run, maybe a little less than that. I didn't hate a lot of it. I generally actually liked a lot of the concepts. But everything was focused on this 6-issue story arc. So everything they wanted to accomplish had to be compressed into that time. In some cases, it's good to be brief. In some cases, it's let it play out.
Right.
The concept of, oh, this Phoenix tournament, who's going to have the Phoenix Force? It wasn't a bad concept, but you barely see any action in half the books.
Well, on that note, I gotta take Jackie horseback riding. So, where are we at with this?
1 1/4.
Darn.
Nice chatting with you.
Nice chatting to you, Eric.
Andy.
Andy, nice meeting you.
I have no idea, man. Short week for me, so kind of cleaning up. Gonna try Batgirl again. It looks, they had it like bubble gum. Yeah, this looks a lot. Oh yeah, definitely. Because she had roommates and they would. It was a great story before, and they screwed it up about 5 years ago. Captain America annual trade back. Where are you? Jeez, I must be fucking blind. This one. This is the one. This is the one. I think that's last week. This is interesting. $50. There's a lot of good stories in this. Yeah, there's a lot more, bubbles in reading it. But there has been no good. I did the last Captain America, this one. And it's almost done. That guy. I'm not going to mention names. I hate dumping on, They're doing their work. And it was really good, the first 7, 8. And it kind of drifted. I didn't know where it was going, but I was so close and I was that far in. I got to finish it, man. So one he ordered. And the guy that buys all the Batman stuff, he didn't want it either. One of Glenn's whales, I guess you want to call it. He said, I want everything, but I don't. Oh, God, that's horrible. That's definitely a little kid book, you know what I mean? Oh, that's the worst Batman I've ever seen.
So far, most of the people that come in enjoyed issue 1. They really liked it.
It's one of my favorite books.
Yeah,
for art and story.
Yeah, so I mean, it's legit. It's hey, something. You have the rights. Take your other stuff and mix it with it. I mean, they did Aliens versus Batman. They did an Aliens versus Superman book, which the Aliens versus Superman book was awesome. The Aliens versus Batman book I didn't care for. Predator versus Batman was great. The Predator versus Superman I didn't really like. Superman
was an Aliens versus Green Lantern too. I like that a lot.
Yeah, they did the ones too. Yeah.
Especially since Green Lantern's more of a space hero.
Right. What worked with the Aliens with Superman though, he had to go into space where there was red sun.
Oh.
So he was getting weaker. He was getting weaker as it was going because it's like Superman can just go through and kill all these aliens. Nothing's going to affect him. When you start losing your energy, like he's doing his thing, he's fighting, and then all of a sudden, some of the acid, that hurt. So yeah, he was actually starting to get the shit kicked out of him. He needed actually help from people that were there. I mean, he almost didn't survive. It made it an interesting story because we're usually. Him being near invincible.
That must have built the tension.
Yeah. The Alien Superman was probably, I think, one of the best crossovers with another thing, except for now with the Avengers. That people have loved issue 1.
None of the people who complained about Aliens versus Avengers complained about any of the other Alien crossovers.
Right. Right. Why? Is there a lot of people complaining about Aliens versus Avengers?
Yeah, there was one guy in the comments who was really going at it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's an expensive book, though. It's like an $8 book. Yeah. It'd be nice if it was still a $4.99 book. That would be nice. But all right, we got 20 degrees past rigor. Battle action. Big Burn. Calavera PI. Heatseeker. Gun Honey series.
Yeah. How can you not?
Yeah, I'll go for that too.
Yeah, I like the last Heatseeker story. House of Slaughter trade paperback. Huge Detective. I like that book. Minky Woodcock, Girl Called Cthulhu.
You bet. Sign me up.
Did you say yes, though?
Yeah.
And Houdini and Lovecraft and Aleister Crowley. What more could you ask for?
I don't like Lovecraft shit, but I thought issue 1 was actually pretty decent. I did like issue 1. But usually when I see Lovecraft stuff, I stay away. I usually shy away from it.
What I'm surprised by is that Lovecraft appeared as a character in the story.
Rick and Morty, Youth. Who cares? No. Captain America, not a new writer. 15. This is the last issue with Michael Straczynski. I'll be reading the next issue though, if it doesn't have Straczynski's name on it. Werewolf by Night.
Yeah.
Godzilla, Here There Be Dragons.
Yep.
Zilla.
Black Lightning. Dark Knights of Steel. Nope, that's just reorders. DC versus Vampires. Domain. G.I. Joe. Yeah, you get a little close there, but it's okay. It's what we do. It's what
it's a sacrifice Glenn does.
Right. I do this for the fans, for the community. Right. That's what I do. So, Green Lantern.
Yep.
And I felt the Ryan Reynolds movie. To me, it felt like they were doing a cross between Hal Jordan and Kyle Rayner. Kyle Rayner was coming out of a bar when they gave him because Hal Jordan had just killed all the lanterns and all the blue guys, and they had one ring left. He just happened to be coming out of a bar puking, and he was the one that got it. So when anything happened, he was excited for it or whatever. So when someone like Ryan Reynolds was like, "Hey, look, I think about it. I got my uniform on. Now I don't. That reminded me of Kyle Rayner. So it was almost like they did a mix between both of them, and it didn't work. I think who was the brain guy that was in there? Hector or something? Yeah, Hector Hammond. That was the best Hector Hammond that's ever existed. When he's in the comic book, I just want to rip up the comic book and not read it. I thought he was the best in the movie. The main villain, Parallax, sucked. It was just awful. That was awful. They ruined it. But then again, we got to expect that from most DC movies. So it was Precious Metal.
Yep.
Yeah, thank you. I got 5 people I rip off on that book.
I think you're just shitting all over my books today. What did I do to you, man?
You said yes to shit, so I was no. Spawn Violator, Transformers, and Witchblade. That'll do, Pig. That'll do.
Oh, these are my subs. And
All right, thanks, Ed. See you later.
this is really fun. There's no other comic out there that looks like this. A lot of it looks like almost like it was done with woodcuts. The style with the the dark lines and then the white lines against it. Yeah, it's like Yeah, it's pretty unique, and the story is really good too. This is drawn by Scott Collins, who normally has a completely different style than that. So it's interesting to see him. He said, "Well, I'll have to change up my style because I'm doing a horror story."
Sold out of this. I had to reorder it, but number 1 sold out of it like the second day it came out. I mean, it sold so well. I was looking to make sure I still had it. Well, you found a book, huh? Shittiest book I had in there too. Like
I noticed there was a lot of water damage.
Yeah. That's why it was $2. Yeah.
I realized that, but I thought, well, this is a nice read.
Yep.
I'll enjoy it.
Right. Right. That's what it is.
And it has 2/3 of those guys are artists I really like.
Yeah.
And even if they only have like 2, 3, or 4 pages, I'm still happy.
Yeah. That's good. And for $2, you can't go wrong, right?
Yep.
Ooh. Does he have the 4 ones, or is he getting a $1 coin back?
We do this in slow-mo for...
I've been waiting forever for this. Number 2. Number 1 was so good. Little retro issue here.
Someone's killing the children.
Heck yeah!
Look cool.
What?
How you doing? So this is what
It's the new number 1 for the new Moon Knight series. They just relaunched it, and this is one of the alternate covers. I just thought looked really cool.
In one
Pretty cool. What?
Anything? Think so?
Anything?
No, I'm good. Thanks. Very cool, please.
Right.
Thanks.
Individual, so like World War III. But the only
Some Absolute Superman. Absolute Batman was really good. Absolute Wonder Woman was okay. So check this one out.
Gotcha, okay.
Artwork looks pretty decent. I like the look of the book. And Jason Aaron he's a writer who can write something really good, or he could completely pull the wool over your eyes and suck. But this artwork was really nice.
These are all newer within the last.
So I don't want to spoil too much
year
of
or
it,
so
but it
that
looks pretty
stuff's on the
cool.
shelf.
The
So
story's been good,
they
but
buy
I
them,
don't like
they
the art.
put- they're
I don't
the
like the
ones
artist
with
in this
plastic
book.
on 'em.
It's a
Put 'em in the
pretty
back
big
in the
step
back
down from
here,
like
but I
the
don't
regular
have
Conan
any-
book, I think.
I don't
It
have
has
any
a
of the
similar
issues, any of those
vibe
on
to
the
it, but
system.
it's like not as well executed.
Older ones, like the ones with the plastic.
Like the
on it?
faces and stuff look blockier, I think. Just the way that this guy draws his
Okay.
stuff.
As far as
Not
the
bad, but-
60s.
Not as good as the regular, not as good as the main book.
So,
Story's still good, yeah.
Yep, and then you know, this is the same
Something
series
from the
from
Children
60s,
Zero. This is
and
kind
now
of like
you're
a
in the-
flashback
you're in the
episode
early
to like
90s now. You know,
or issue what happened
they go
before
up
the
to here.
series started. This is one
You're
of
in
my
the,
favorite series,
you're in the
on, so
90s.
it's kind of cool.
Then it stopped, and they went to another version.
I think it focuses on this one little girl
and they
who
still have a book that just
had
came
this
out,
carriage
like,
in the first
3
issue.
weeks ago. They got a book that's
And
coming-
this,
it's still
the
coming
issue
out,
one of
you
this
know,
was
it's,
so good.
Yeah,
Like the one with
yeah, they don't
kinda
have
like a
anything
futuristic
movie related
tale.
like that. You know,
Like
it's,
the aliens
yeah.
came down and kicked everyone's ass. There's a handful of Avengers left. Everyone's older and beat on.
Yeah, sure.
I got this.
Okay.
Issue one was so good. That might do it for this week.
Yeah, I don't have.
Let's
I don't
find
have
something else
anything-
back
I don't have
here.
anything Wolverine. Yeah. I don't do too much with the statues anymore. Now it's more special ordered. You know, it's no, I don't.
The alternate covers for this? Nope.
Yeah, I don't even like the toy stuff. I don't have a distributor.
Sometimes there's cool alternate covers.
Some of the stuff is.
A lot of these distillery books have been pretty good. This company, Distillery, they put out these oversized books. A lot of them are pretty cool. They usually get a lot of like, pretty well-known talent to collaborate on their books. I like them so far. This art looks really nice. Jamie McKelvey's pretty good. Maybe that's a possibility. I haven't liked any of the new Mark Miller stuff. He's come up with like all new #1s for his books, and I've read like 3 or 4 of them so far. I haven't liked any of them. Unfortunately, I mean, I tried all the books. I just didn't really care for them. All the art has changed. The stories are just really, they don't seem that original anymore. They just seem to kind of rehashing the same stuff. Usually check out the Red Sonja. A lot of times the art in the Red Sonja books is really bad. This isn't terrible. I've seen a lot worse. Like their thing is they'll put out a million like hot covers, and then the interiors would be kind of shitty and the story won't be that good. Yeah, I think that might be it. Some good stuff this week though.
Thanks, Ross. I actually think it'd be really cool. Maybe next year for Halloween.
No.
I have you put the little cap on and the overalls, and I'll do a little crank box, and you can kind of do dee 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 and take the cymbals and do this, and then hold a can out. Whatever money we make, you keep it all.
You're going to be your dancing monkey.
If that's how you look at it,
No, that's the only way to look at it.
I would never say something like that. You're my friend.
Have you ever heard the phrase, "I'm not your circus monkey"?
Yeah, I
Remember
say that a
phrase?
lot. Yeah, you'd be my dancing monkey. But it's Halloween. That's all it is. And whatever we make, when you hold the jar out, you keep it all. Dee, 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 dee. And I'd sit there cranking the little.
You're pretty good at it. Maybe you could do it.
I don't think you could handle the crank into the thing. And
You could just put some overalls on and just do a little dance outside.
oh, I definitely could do a little dance outside. I know I could do it.
Why don't you do it then?
Would you?
You don't need me to do it.
I don't think you could handle doing the crank box.
Maybe have Ross do the crank box then.
No, it's me and you. We're a team.
Oh yeah, we're a team.
50 plus.
I get to be your circus monkey.
No, then I'll
No
do the-
thanks.
I'm not having you dress up as a monkey. You're gonna put the little engineer cap on. No, the hotel
do the
bellhop.
list. Let's do the
little
list.
bellhop cap on. You know,
Let's do the list.
it's Halloween. I'm talking about Halloween.
It's gone. Halloween's passed.
Next year we'll get it prepared.
That's too far ahead to think.
No, I'll start getting the uniforms to get the stuff ready for now. I think it'd be a cool little thing that we could do. Make a little extra money on the side of the street.
I figured it would be in here.
So he's gonna hold a cup out here.
Really?
Oh, I thought we were gonna go public with this. Like go to the T station. You know, kind of ding ding ding, and people go, oh, look
I
at
don't want to
this.
see him get violated.
Ding, ding, ding. That's what
I don't want to see him get violated. Here, at least it's.
He's not gonna get violated.
Who's gonna violate you?
Who's gonna violate him?
Don't know.
I'm there.
Weird thoughts you get in your head.
Right. No one's gonna know it's
Violation.
You're acting in Boston.
right. But if
On the
someone,
side of a
Who's going to
street.
Boston?
He
But
did.
Glenn's not going to Boston. You couldn't pay him enough to go to Boston.
If he got you in a costume.
Yeah, true or false?
I'm not going to Boston.
Yeah, exactly.
But if he got you in a costume,
No, he would not go to Boston.
You never know.
No, we'll do downtown Haverhill, okay?
That's as far as he's going.
But would you want to go to Boston to do that either?
No, but
No.
I'm not doing it, period. But I'm saying you're not going to Boston for any reason.
I'm just saying. Do it downtown. Whatever dollars we make, you get.
It's not happening.
We'll probably make the paper and stuff. Say, hey, look at people.
Yeah,
People.
yeah.
Two.
Yeah, that's the kind of publicity I want.
Two Haverhill
Absolutely,
men.
yeah.
Two Haverhill men made people happy on the streets today of Haverhill. That's all we're there.
You put on the overalls and you do your ding ding dance.
Well, will you be the other guy that will do the crank box
I
then?
want Ross to do it.
No, it's me and you.
Yeah, Ross
Decade
can-
plus.
Ross can
Decade
step in.
plus.
You don't Ross
I
for
can
a long
only
time,
do it on
too.
a Sunday.
Yeah, so you can only do it on Sunday.
Do it on Sunday then.
Yeah, it's not a prime time.
What do you mean? Everyone's off for work.
Saturday evening. So it's something we get together, and you know it would be like two local men,
Two local idiots.
two local men
Two local morons.
making people in Haverhill happy.
Morons making a spectacle of themselves.
No, making people
thank you.
happy. That's all we're trying to do. I'm trying to make the world happy
No,
and a
you're
better
not.
place. This is a face idea. Trying to help people, trying to make
Don't
people
want
feel
to help
happy.
anyone.
So what's the whole purpose of this thing? Us doing the monkey and the
Act like idiots in public. That's what you want to do.
and they'll be happy. The people, oh, that's awesome! Look at that. They're doing the monkey crank box or whatever they
anyone
call
to be
them.
happy. You don't care what anyone thinks. You
No,
don't
that's
care.
bad. That's bad. That's
That's
heel.
you. You don't care. That's not your thing.
Hey Ross,
Yeah.
do I make you happy?
Random people on the street, you don't care if they get hit by a car the second you see them. You don't care. True or false?
That's kind of awful to say.
Is it true or not?
Used to be.
I know you're on camera, but I mean, you
No,
don't
it used to be. I used to say I don't know this person. I don't care. But now I do. I've told you. I've turned over a new leaf.
You haven't. This
Tell
is
me
all a
please.
lie.
I want people to be happy. Stop all the arguing.
You want to start more arguing.
I mean, I don't want everyone to have to be
You want to
friends, but
instigate.
but more people should we should just like one another more.
I do not believe that.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the violence and the pain.
Why aren't we doing the list?
I don't know. I want to do the list. Why are we talking about this? It's not happening. Dude, you're exhausting sometimes.
I'm exhausted from listening to your BS.
I can't believe you think I don't care about people out on the street.
You don't. You do not care about random strangers. You do not. They are there strictly for your amusement, regardless what happens to them.
Amazing Spider-Man. Yep. I'm looking forward to this. New writer.
Let's see.
I will give it a shot.
Is this a Joe Kelly or?
This is Joe Kelly, but
Okay.
I don't think Joe Kelly's on 62. I think it's Joe Kelly and is it Erica Schultz?
Something, yeah, I don't know who.
Oh,
I forget her name.
I think it's a girl. Captain America. This is the last Straczynski issue, so hopefully next month we'll get a good Captain America book.
Depends who's coming on it.
I'll try anybody compared to what compared to what this story was. I'm willing to try anybody.
What's wrong with the story?
He's fighting a demon and stuff, and he hangs out with Doctor Strange, but he only a Doctor Strange doll. Doctor Strange out there, he talks to Doctor Strange through the Doctor Strange doll. It's just kind of stupid.
That's Straczynski.
Doesn't seem like a Straczynski book at all. It just doesn't. And
He's more talking.
I think it's one of his worst books he's ever written. Yeah.
I can see why not.
I don't need to say Star Wars to any of you clowns?
Nope.
Okay. The Spectacular Spider-Men. How about, are we ready for this? Best book.
Is it a Conan book?
No, but it's the best book Marvel puts out right now.
Moon Knight.
Ultimate X-Men.
Oh, Jesus.
One just came out last week. We get another one this week.
Double dose of Peach Momoko.
Yeah. Two out of 3 weeks. Uncanny X-Men.
Yes.
I'm with you too, Ross. Venom.
Yes.
We're not done yet, though. We got Venom War, Deadpool.
Yep.
Is there a war going on right now with Venom?
Huge war.
Oh, my God.
I mean, the war's been going on for about 4 months now.
Crazy.
We got Venom War, Wolverine. All right, we're done with Marvel.
Well, but I think I only read Moon Knight and Ultimate Spider-Man right now.
Oh, that's read from Marvel, yeah.
And you
also got
got a
the,
maybe. You got a maybe. Because you're going to look
Maybe
at
the Amazing Spider-Man.
Amazing Spider-Man.
So now we're going to go to some Dark Horse and IDW stuff. Well, Scott Steiner is Scott Snyder.
D. Snyder?
I wish it was D. Snyder.
He'd write a cool comic.
He
right?
would. He definitely would. We got Arcbound by Scott Snyder and Frank Thierry.
Is that a distillery book?
No. I just said we're doing Dark Horse and IDW. Distillery was on that first page. There's like 4 of them.
I don't pay attention to you.
I can tell you haven't said yes at all. Godzilla or
Zilla, here there be dragons.
Is that one of the good ones or no?
that's one of the better ones. Yeah. Imbo Kodo.
Oh, no, I'll take one of those.
Imbo Kodo. Yeah.
Sign me up.
Thabiso Mabanana.
Even better.
Mabana.
Banana?
No, it's Mabanna. So
Okay.
it's banana.
I'm gonna pass on that guy's book.
Gru, the greatest,
Fake barbarian.
the greatest barbarian of all
He's a
time.
third, fourth string barbarian at the best.
Gru the Wanderer.
On his best day, fourth stringer.
Best
Maybe
one-
third if
best
someone
one
gets
ever.
injured.
The best one there. Puts a smile on my face.
There's you with the smiles on the faces again.
Yeah. See, that's right. That's what I'm looking for. Is making people happy. Comic Book Palace. Place where dreams come true.
They certainly do.
Yep. It's gonna heat up. It's gonna heat up right now.
right.
Absolute Batman.
Yes.
Action Comics.
Yes. Yep.
Batman and Robin.
Yes.
Batman and Robin Year 1.
Yes.
Not reorder.
Two? You son of a.
That's bad.
Yeah.
I shouldn't do that.
Why'd you laugh then afterwards?
It was funny. But I'm not going to do it anymore.
That remains to be seen.
For today.
Okay.
Black Lightning. Did you need a Dark Knights All Winter?
Yes, number 3.
Just so happens.
Hell yeah.
Here it comes.
Boom.
DC versus Vampires. World War Scotty V.
Yep.
G.I. Joe.
Yep. Is that the new one?
You bet. Issue number 1.
Nice.
49 covers. No Jock either. How about some Jenny Frison? I don't like Jenny Frison.
Oh, she's good.
I think she's overrated. I don't like her.
I like her.
I'd rather just have writing across with no pictures.
Scotty Young?
I'll take Scotty Young.
I like Scotty Young.
I don't know. Her stuff is just all the same. It's just I don't know. I think she's overrated. She doesn't suck, but she's overrated. She did who did a Jenny Frison cover? I don't know who did one. It's what Mark did one, but it's in a box buried with his 400 books this week. I don't know who ordered the other one, but yeah, she's I don't know. She's I'd rather have like the regular Something's Killing the Children cover than her cover.
You're getting Something's Killing the Children art in the book. So to have the art in the book and on the cover, I'd rather have something else on the cover.
I'd
Like
rather
Jenny Frison cover
I'd rather just have Something's Killing the Children just on the cover with no art than
no
her.
Jenny Frison.
Yeah.
I don't know. What is it?
Frison.
Frison?
Yeah, Frison, whatever.
yeah.
Like I think she did. Let me see. I think she did Poison Ivy this week.
Yeah, that's her.
There's 2 other covers that are even better than this that came out this week.
But I just like her style. It just
Yeah.
looks clean. Looks cool.
Yeah, I'd rather not see that.
Okay.
I mean, it doesn't.
He's thrown like you'd rather have Scotty Young. I don't want Scotty
No,
Young. In any
I was
of
being a
those.
smartass.
Okay.
I don't want to have. I don't want to have Scotty Young. I was being sarcastic with that
Okay,
one. Yes.
I thought you liked
I would take this. You know, it's I mean, if I got this cover, I'm not going to bitch. But if I had a choice, there's another cover out there that I'd probably want more. You know, it's she doesn't suck, but I just don't. I don't see why she's as popular as she is. You know. All right. How about Green Lantern?
Yep.
I like Ross.
You like Ross.
He says yes. I'm not wasting
I said
my
yes
time.
like 4 or 5 times.
2.
No.
You thinking 4?
I think I said yes 4 times.
3.
Let's go back and look.
Absolute Batman.
Yeah.
Action Comics.
Yeah.
Batman Robin.
Yeah.
And then a reorder. So that had nothing to do. 3.
But I might say 4.
You might. I'm looking down here. I don't think you are. You must just go to the back of the store now. Multiverses Collision Detected. Precious Metal.
Yep.
You do Precious Metal, really? I am sorry. But thank you, friend.
It's getting to a point where I don't want to do it.
Well, it's the last issue.
Okay. Well,
So you'll be able to finish it off and be
I'll just be
disappointed.
disappointed one more time.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Rifters. Sam and Twitch. You just one, right?
Yes, please.
Violator.
Yep.
Both.
Yes.
Ross is keeping your lights on.
Ross helps.
I'm not helping out at all.
No, you're not. Witchblade. That'll do, pig. That'll do. But you got your 4.
Yep.
Ross got his 22.
Yeah.